In this video, I want to go over some scrolling around in the range area, some zooming functionality, and then how the looping and the playhead works. Starting off with some zooming. If you just hover over on the timeline over here and you drag up, that's going to zoom in for you. And if you drag down, it's going to zoom out. And this just depends where you've placed your cursor. So if I place my cursor here, it's going to zoom up and focus where the center is over there. So for example, if I go over here, it's going to do the same. So those other clips are going to be out of focus now because I've zoomed up in this area. So just make sure that you place your cursor where you want to zoom into. Another way of zooming in and out is to use the plus and minus on your number keypad. So they're zooming in and they're zooming out. So that's the plus sign and that's the minus sign. Now, if you don't have a number keypad on your keyboard, then what you can do is use the command and the minus and plus on your keyboard, or on the PC side, the control minus and plus. So that's zooming out and that's zooming in. As you can see, I've gone out of view. And if I want to scroll horizontally from left to right, I can just hold down Shift and scroll up on my mouse. So I'm scrolling back there. So I can just scroll around using the Shift key and my scroll wheel on my mouse. Another way you can also zoom in is if you hold down Control and Option, or Control and Alt, and then you scroll up on your mouse wheel, then it's also zooming in. So you don't have to position your cursor on the timeline here. You can just do it wherever you are. So hold down Control and Option, or Control and Alt, and you can zoom in and out. Now, another thing you can do is if you hit the key Z or Z, it's going to zoom into what you have selected to fit the screen. So there is the piano part that's zoomed in to fit the selection of the page. If I zoom out, and let's say I select this audio part and then I press C, it's going to zoom into that one. If I select this Rhodes MIDI part and press C, it's going to zoom in there. And likewise, the same with the piano part, press C and it goes there. If I just deselect and press C, it's going to zoom to fit them all into the view. So that's just some ways that you can scroll around. Obviously, I've only got 3 tracks here, but if you've got a big project with numerous tracks, then you're going to find that you're going to have to zoom in and out and scroll around quite easily to navigate to different areas in your arrangement. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the loop locators, and this blue arrowhead is the playback start position. So if I click over here and I hit spacebar or the play button, that's where my playback is going to start. If I do it on bar 4, I click there and it's going to start playback. Now that makes a lot of sense. But this does come quite interesting when you use the loop locator. So I'm going to position my playhead at bar 3. And now with the loop locators, I'm going to make it go from bar 3 to bar 7. And for looping to occur, I just need to enable the looping up here. So if I play back now, and loops back again. But if I put my blue playhead or playhead starts at bar 5, it's going to start playback at 5, and then it's going to loop again and start from bar 3. So that's just some things to keep in mind with regard to your playback and then how you're going to be using the looping. Maybe you want to loop over a section, but you want to start a bit forward in the loop and hear what's happening there, and then it can loop back again. So just all things to keep in mind while you're working on your projects and your songs. Now that I'm telling you how to use some shortcuts, a good thing to keep in mind is if you look on this bottom area over here, it's going to give you some information on different ways and shortcuts that you can do things. For example, if I select my track, you can see it says click, selects the track. If I drag, it drags the track around. And also, if I command and click, it's going to remove the selection. Double click, it's going to show devices. So just keep in mind when you're selecting parts, just taking a look below just to familiarize yourself with the different actions that you can do within the application. So as you can see, it just gives you different callouts wherever you are, depending on what you want to do and where you are in the arrangement, in the clip view, or on the tracks. So now that you know how to get yourself around and zoom in and zoom out and change your playhead and looping functionality, next let's see how we can record to an audio track.